Brought to you by DK Audio.
DK Audio presents The Timekeepers, Eiffel Tower Emergency by S.J. King, read by Dion Mason. Chapter 1. Tickets for Two. "Hey, look at this," Hannah's dad called as he came back from the orchards. "The peaches are ripening perfectly. Catch." She caught the peach he tossed her. It was firm and fuzzy and warm from the sun. Hannah was sitting in the shade of the veranda that went right around her home. She lived on the family's farm in New Jersey on the east coast of the USA all her life. She always loved being outside, where the summer breeze carried the sweet scent of peaches. Her work table was covered with newspaper to keep it clean. A lot of painting, cutting, and gluing happened here. Hannah had built a model skyscraper using lolly sticks and cardboard, and her next task was to paint people on small squares of plastic that she'd cut from used food packaging. They would make great windows. "I'll have my very own skyscraper in the countryside," Hannah said to herself as she lifted the peach to her mouth. She was about to take a bite when she noticed that the hands on her special watch were spinning. She felt a thrill of excitement. Time for an adventure! Hannah was a member of the Timekeepers, a secret organization with members from all over the world. A villain called Delay loved to mess around with time, trying to make history go wrong. It was the Timekeepers' task to travel into the past and make sure that history happened the way it was supposed to. What's Delay up to now? Hannah wondered as she flipped open the watch face. She pressed one of the buttons inside. Instantly, the hands whizzed faster and faster, and everything around her froze. The leaves on the trees were still, the birdsong fell silent, and a pair of blue speckled butterflies stopped in mid-flutter. A rainbow whirl surrounded Hannah. She felt herself rising from her seat as the swirling colours turned bright white. No one would see her go, and she knew no one would worry about her while she was gone, because time stayed still while she was away. The next moment, she felt her feet touch the ground, the white light faded, and she found herself in a wonderful museum. It was full of shelves and display cases which were crammed with historical objects, from a tiny Roman glass bead to a silk robe worn by a baby prince in the 18th century. This was the History Hub, the headquarters of the Timekeepers. "Hannah here," she called. She heard a rustling sound and looked up at a large cuckoo clock on the wall. Hannah guessed that the cuckoo inside was climbing out of her nest. Sure enough, the clock's little red door opened and a bright-eyed bird popped its head out. "Hello, Tempo," said Hannah. "Cuckoo! It's lovely to see you too," Hannah said, as Tempo flew down onto her shoulder with happy little squawks. The little bird was great friends with the Timekeepers and was involved with all of their adventures. In a sudden flash of white light, the next Timekeeper arrived. "Sarah here," said a girl who wore a pretty pink headscarf. "Hi, Hannah. Hi, Tempo. Just jotting down a new story idea," she added, scribbling in her notebook. Sarah adored writing. Tempo flew up to the little ledge outside her red door to watch the other arrivals. Flash! Flash! Two boys arrived almost together. One wore a shirt patterned with sea creatures. "Luke here," he called. "New shirt?" asked Hannah, knowing he'd made it himself. Luke was mad about fashion. "It looks great," she said when Luke nodded enthusiastically. "Kingsley here," sang the other boy, who was a brilliant musician. His favourite guitar was slung over his shoulder. "Flash! Rosa here," said a girl in a tracksuit. She had her football boots tied together, hanging around her neck. "Flash! Flash!" Two more Timekeepers arrived at the same time. "Minjun here." "Jackson here." Minjun had a tube of glue and a tiny paintbrush in his top pocket, so Hannah guessed he'd been working on one of the miniature figurines he loved making. Something smells delicious," Minjun said. Jackson laughed. "That'll be me. I've been baking jam tarts," he said. He adored cooking. "Flash!" "Yasmin here." She looked as if she'd been hurrying. "Am I lost? I was trying a new piece of code on my computer. It worked."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?